Hello everyone, it's Kevin the Patriot Punk, and today I'm back and I got a great video for you guys to watch, so enjoy it and share it with your friends.
Today's angry feminist rant. Greek life is anti-feminist.
Well, I am glad that Greek life is anti-feminist. Anything that is anti-feminist, I am happy to be associated with. And look, let's face it, guys. Pretty much everything is anti-feminist to these people, right? I'm sure they could find a problem with anything.
Greek life is a very, very specific way of formally organizing one's social life. The Greek system is defined by behavioral norms and institutionalized relationships that naturalize gender segregation and sanction highly gendered courting rituals. Believe it or not, we find this highly problematic.
So here we have two more wasted youth who spent their parents' life savings getting a humanities degree that will not get them anywhere in life. For those of you who don't speak Sociology 101, let me just tell you what these girls said. They said they don't like fraternities because men act like men, and they don't like sororities because women act like women.
An obvious starting point for this argument, which is often taken for granted, is the fact that Greek life is separated by gender. Sororities are for girls or women, and fraternities are for guys
or young men.
Alright, so their first argument is that fraternities, which are literal brotherhoods, are bad because they only accept men, and sororities are bad because they only accept women. And the hypocrisy is astounding, because the left love to break people down into groups based on sex or race or some other identitarian principle. They love to segregate people along these lines. They just don't want you to have the free will to pick your own in-group. And that's what this is about. Like everything else with the left, they want to limit your freedom. And in this case, it is a freedom of association that they want to limit. But they also hate fraternities and sororities for another reason. They don't like the fact that men who join fraternities become more successful men. And not just because they make more money over a lifetime, which men who join fraternities do, they also develop stronger bonds. They do more in their communities. Same thing with sorority women. And that's because the left hates success. The left want equality if you're living equally under the poverty line. They want everybody to be equally as miserable as the two girls who wasted their college getting a humanities degree.
And this may seem like no big deal, but hear us out. Number one, this sucks because it reinforces the binary, aka the idea that there are two types of people, men and women. Two neato little boxes to fit humans into, and if you don't really feel at home there, sorry weirdo, this world was not built for you.
Well, that's exactly right. We should not cater the world to everybody's neuroses. I'm sure there are clubs on campus for people who are mentally ill, but sororities and fraternities aren't excluding people because they're gay or lesbian or something else, all right? They are saying that if you have a penis, you are a member of one, and if you have a vagina, you can join the other. And if you look down your pants and you see a cauliflower, there is something seriously wrong with you. You are not human. So unless you're an animal or a plant, you can join one of these two groups. You might not feel comfortable there, but you're not supposed to feel comfortable in every group. I wouldn't feel comfortable in a Black Panther Party meeting, so I wouldn't go. That's the simple logic right there. Just don't go. Don't join. If you don't like it, don't join.
There is a deep and wide spectrum of human identity that is beyond due for some goddamn recognition. This is 2018. The binary sucks and we're over it.
Oh, it's 2018? Well, I guess we should throw away all of our traditions, all of our science, everything that's been proven over thousands of years of human existence. Let's take all of that and throw it out the window because it's the current year. And then in 2019, 2020, we can throw away everything from the year before and keep replacing everything, right? See, this is what I hate about the social justice warriors. They want to take institutions and traditions that have been proven to work throughout human history and exist because they do work, and replace them with a system that has only existed for about 200 years. And I'm talking about Marxism. And in that 200 years has killed more people than all the wars throughout history combined. So they want to take things, institutions, traditions that have been proven to work over thousands of years and replace them with something that's proven to fail that's only existed for a few hundred years. Great idea.
2. It reinforces harmful gender roles, aka the idea that people with penises and people with vaginas have such vastly different brains from each other that they must play opposite parts in the game of life. They have different interests, values, expectations.
Well, of course there are vast differences. There are also vast differences. That's a testicle joke for those of you who didn't study anatomy. But yes, men have testicles, we have hormones, that makes us different. And women have vaginas, they have ovaries, they have different hormones that make them different. It affects their brains differently. Okay, but those differences aren't oppositional as the left would have you think. Those differences are complementary. That's why men and women have existed for thousands of years together, as couples, as families, working to complement one another. But the left want conflict. They want that division where it doesn't exist.
For example, vagina people should wear white dresses and chit-chat and rank each other, and then make cutesy little glittery signs and sing creepy chants, because that's how we make friends, right?
So those women were having fun. We better go arrest them, right? The left have become the fun police. We see this all the time. They do videos about how white girls dancing to hip-hop are cultural appropriating. I mean, they want nobody to have any choice, any agency, and any fun. So we should just change the party names. No longer the Republicans and the Democrats. We're going to be the fun people and the fun police.
But bros should, play beer pong with each other, every single night of August, and then decide who's cool enough to get peed on.
What? What? What are they talking about getting peed on? Jesus Christ.
Number 3, the same way that the Greek system by design relies on classism, for example, by being a pay-to-join lifestyle, Greek life also is fundamentally oriented around heteronormativity.
Okay, heteronormativity and classism. We're going to debunk those two things with Chicken McNuggets and gay bars. That's right, we're going to start with Chicken McNuggets. I don't know how much Chicken McNuggets cost, maybe $1.50, but they're not free, right? You have to pay for Chicken McNuggets because somebody put time to raise the chicken, just like somebody put time and money into buying a frat house, and then they sent the chicken to somebody who put their time and labor into cooking it, just like somebody put their time and labor into planning frat parties. You have to pay for these services and goods. So there's no classism there. Now, as far as heteronormativity, let's talk about gay bars. Are gay bars homonormativity? No. Gay bars are a place that caters to gay and lesbian people, right? That's the beauty of the free market. That's the beauty of capitalism. Somebody can start a business that caters to a minority population, just like you can start a business that caters to any target group, right? You might want to target kids. You have a toy store or bouncy house company. That's for kids. It's not exclusionary. It's not classism. It's not bouncy normativity, right? So the whole thing is ridiculous.
Heteronormativity is an ideology that assumes heterosexuality to be the natural, normal, supreme organizing principle of human life, against which all other types of relationships are read as deviant.
It is no secret that Greek life is, in part, a formalization of heteronormative dating and mating rituals. You can disagree with us if you want, but you're still wrong.
Yep, very heteronormative.
Let's do a thought experiment. What if every single person in Greek life was gay, bi, or genderqueer? What if no one in Greek life identified as straight?
The entire system would break down. The Greek system would not make sense. Without the assumption that everyone is straight, there would be no reason to do anything that Greek life currently does.
Yes, because gays don't like to party. Gays don't like to do projects around the community. Gays don't like to go out and do campus events and pep rallies and sporting events. No. They just like to sit at home knitting sweaters. you homophobes.
Number 4. Greek organizations are defined by heteronormative, conformist, racist, etc. codes of sexual appeal and sexual exchange.
So of course they threw racist in there, right? They're not going to tell us what's racist about sexual exchange, but they put racist in there for good measure.
Please take a moment to truly reflect on how Greek organizations are ranked. And don't pretend they're not, because we could head down to the freshman commons, poll 100 first years, and come out with the same list of top tier frats and srats.
And while each seem to have their own unique but collective personality to some extent, sororities are pretty clearly organized by beauty, aka sex appeal.
Uh-oh, sounds like somebody's mad jelly. Jelly jelly.
Frats are also ranked according to their relative attractiveness of their members to a degree, but bro status is also linked to wealth, charisma, charm, in a way that sister status is not. We would argue this has to do with how our society classifies male sex appeal versus female sex appeal.
Okay, so we already know that these leftists don't want us to have any choice in who we associate with. They don't want us to have freedom of association. Now they're saying we shouldn't have any choice in who we find attractive. That personal preference should not exist. Well, you know what? I know these girls are jealous, right? They're jelly. But they're not bad-looking girls. The reason guys don't want to be with them, the big boner killer here, is feminism, right? Nobody wants to date a feminist. If they could break their brainwashing, I'm sure they'd make nice housewives.
These structures help build the foundation for a very elaborate transactional, heteronormative sexual culture.
Some of the common exchanges: you pay your frat dues, you buy booze, and in exchange you get access to drunk college women to dance with, to make out with, to take back to your room. The better you are, the more highly ranked fraternities you might hope to pledge. And the more highly ranked your fraternity, the more highly ranked the sorority members who attend your parties will be, because strats are playing the same game here.
Okay, so right there you can see that these girls know nothing about frat life. All they know, and this is typical for all social justice warriors, everything they think they know comes from television and movies. It's like they watch Van Wilder and now they think they're experts on frat life. That's the same reason all these kids think that America is so racist or that we're so sexist. It's because they watch television and movies where they see everybody in the office hitting on their coworkers, or they see white people jumping on black people in the streets. It's not the truth, and sometimes it's the complete opposite of the truth, but they don't know that because they've had no real life experiences. They've been brainwashed by this propaganda.
Think of how many frat bros you know who would still pay their dues if the parties they threw were only men allowed. Probably none. Because the implicit arrangement is men provide booze, women provide eye candy, dance partners, and pussy.
So I myself am a member of about 4 fraternal organizations, right? If you count the Proud Boys, 5. And you know what? There's no pussy involved. Okay? And I pay dues for all of those organizations. That's a very sexist remark that she just made.
There are so many ways in which this is an issue, but we think that these cutesy little traditions play into rape culture. If you paid thousands of dollars to host a party and get girls drunk, aren't you at least a little bit entitled to ejaculate in at least one of them at the end of the night?
Good God, these women are perverse. They are vulgar. This is a classic example of left-wing projection, right? Rule number 1 of the left. The left always project. These girls are projecting their racism, their sexism, and their dirty thoughts onto other people.
This is the unspoken promise of joining a frat, of paying to be in a club that offers you access to women. Perhaps it is because of this unspoken promise that fraternity men are more likely to commit sexual assault. That is not politics, it's not bias, it's not a witch hunt. That is what the data clearly demonstrates.
Okay, so I tried to research this, and what I found is the statistics actually disprove everything she's saying here. The information she's showing you comes from rags like the Huffington Post, and what they did was they did these surveys where they asked women on campus, has anybody ever tried to hit on you? And that was considered a sexual assault, right? Or if somebody ever tried to kiss you and you backed away, that was considered a rape. It's completely non-existent. It's complete garbage. The fact is when you look at actual crime data, there's no data to suggest that more people are raped in fraternities or sororities. In fact, when you look at overall rape on college campuses, it's much less than that of cities of comparable sizes.
This culture is not just cultural, but formally institutionalized and regulated.
At many schools, Greek women are not allowed to have booze in their houses, but frat houses are basically giant kegs with some shitty furniture floating around. Whether or not a house on Greek Row is allowed to serve alcohol depends on whether or not the powers that be think that the people who signed up for that club have penises or not.
Think about the power dynamic this sets up. Sorority girls are literally prohibited from throwing their own parties. Perhaps that's one of the reasons why Greek women are more likely to be sexually assaulted. If they want to have a good time, they must go to the male-owned, male-controlled frat house and drink the male-prepared jungle juice. This is madness.
Okay, so again, we're seeing that these social justice warrior girls know nothing about Greek life and seem to know nothing about life in general. It's like they can't fathom that these women might want to go and party at a frat house. They have agency. They don't have to go to a frat house, as these two girls said. They can go see a movie. They can go bowling. They don't have to drink. They can go to a club or a bar if they do want to drink. But they choose to go to the frat house. They know there's a risk involved in getting blackout drunk, but men do that too. They know there's a risk of going out and getting drunk. Okay? When you're young, you take more risks. The fact is that we have a group of people here, the social justice warriors, telling us that men and women are equal, that there's no difference, but then they act like men are predatory and women are absolved of all sin. Guys, we need to start realizing that we can't legislate every time somebody does something stupid. That we have a group of people in this country, these left-wingers, these social justice warriors, who want to pass laws to control every aspect of our life. They want to actually police fun. And I think we should all just take responsibility for our actions. And sure, bad things happen sometimes, but that's life, okay? All you can do is try to reduce the risks. Reduce those risks you take. And so the answer is not to legislate. The answer is to be involved in your kids' lives, to teach your kids personal accountability and self-sufficiency. I guarantee you that when my daughters get to college, they will be prepared for life. They will know not to put themselves in those situations, but if they ever find themselves in a bad situation, they will beat that ass or they will pull out their 9mm and put a cap in somebody, because I will not let my daughters be victimized. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Follow my channels, The Patriot Punk on YouTube, and InfoWars Stop the Purge, and Marxism the New AIDS. Guys, you can also follow me on Twitter or Facebook. I will post the links below. I'm outie.